Scott Narver, we got a ton of news to talk about.
Jake Lloyd Bacon, I know, we got to get to it.
There's so much. I actually don't think we have time to do it all in the episode, so let's just do one really quickly. Really not, real quick.
Okay. WrestleMania 42 location is in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh, they announced it for New Orleans? Oh, do you think that Ricky Saints is going to be able to levy his way to a main event?
Please stop.
You get it? The levy? Remember?
I get it, but I
Levies?
don't want it.
The levies, remember?
Demolition Deal, Ricky Saints, and more this week on Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Scott Narver.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows that it's perfect every time.
Yeah, we're really good at this. We're pretty much the best, I think.
Yeah.
That's why we are the only podcast that talks about wrestling.
That's right. Eric Bischoff now exclusively talks about biscotti.
Oh.
Because it's so close to his own name.
Oh, I do love a little biscotti.
You do?
Yeah.
That seems like it's too crunchy for
my
you.
family punches me in the face when I say it like that. But no, it's you have to dip it in coffee. That's why I did the dip motion into my lovely Dragon Wagon Radio mug, available right now at dragonwagonshop.com.
Filled with biscotti when you order it.
Oh, if only we could manage that.
What baked good could you offer if this was like if this was what do they do, like the firemen, the pancake thing,
put out fires?
Yeah, when they put out fires and then like, hey everyone, here's some baked goods to take home with you, because you don't want to go
bake sale.
Yeah, bake sale.
Okay,
with firemen. The sexy firemen, where they sell their calendars and then you're selling baked goods. What baked good could you fill up in the mug and be like, here, today only?
I guess.
What's your baked good that you can make?
Just some cookies, I guess, would fit in there.
What kind of cookies? That's too broad.
Chocolate
There's
chip.
sexy firemen selling calendars.
I know, I can't compete. Chocolate chip cookies, I guess.
Oh, all right.
Some oatmeal raisin, maybe a little peanut butter.
Which one?
A chocolate chip. Let's be honest.
Okay.
There's a reason.
Can you actually make chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah, I could make anything if you give me directions.
That sounds like you don't actually.
I'm an excellent baker.
Are you?
When I have a really well written out recipe, I will make. I follow instructions very well.
That sounds like a challenge, everybody.
I ask Alexandra. I have made her birthday cakes for years, and she is always astounded at how good they are. We always argue that
this is better than last year.
No, it's not that, because we've also we openly talk about how shit we are at making other things. So there's no wall of us where if I made something that was terrible, she wouldn't not just say it was fucking terrible.
Do you have gluten in it?
Yeah, of course there's gluten in it.
Okay.
What am I, a monster?
Step 1, gluten. Squeeze.
But Alexandra,
send your recipes, everybody, of baked goods,
the best
to see if Jake can make it.
Who should send the recipes? Maybe our chat, the folks who are in our super exclusive patron-only live chat. I do see some familiar names. We got a Mike Lucas. We got a Tim Redbird. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And of course, if you want access to the live stream, you got to become a patron over at patreon.com/PWPalskis. And of course, we must acknowledge our current PWP champ, Mickey Bell. Current PWP World Champ will defend that title on the next episode. If you would like to be in the runnings for that championship, well, you should cheat, because we allow that here. Listen, it's wrestling. It's not fair.
Yeah.
You get a certain amount of entries into that,
right?
Based on what your Patreon level is.
Yeah. So $5 gets you one entry. And then multiple increments of $5 then get you multiple entries.
Yeah, much like pro wrestling, this shit's not fair.
Or a Pancake Tuesday.
As Tim Redbird says in the chat.
Yeah, he points it out. That's where firemen sell cookies and Jake sells sexy calendars.
All right. I feel like we should refocus.
I think we should
argue one should say we should just focus. And I just realized we didn't record our cold open. We're all over the place today.
Oh shit!
We got to do a cold open. We got to do a little funny thing at the top.
Sure.
You think people enjoy those?
No.
Me neither. I think you and I.
There was one time where it was called out saying, "Hey,
where is one?" Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we broke the structure of it, and that just annoyed them. It wasn't a comment of saying, "Hey, these are really funny. I missed that. Where did it go?" Where was it? You didn't do it.
Oh. I hate change. Do you like the cold opens? No.
I just hate you've been doing them
different.
When are you getting Braun Strowman back on the show? He was on for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, but you stopped doing that.
Do it again. All right, Jesus. Anything for the listeners.
We love you guys. Patreon.com/PW Palskis.
Yeah, you want the news?
I would love some news because if listeners hopefully are patrons, they will have heard the pre-show, or they will hear the pre-show at some point when they decide to listen to it. And we're frazzled. I'm frazzled. That's the theme of the day. And I'm relieved now that
unplugged.
I'm here. That's good.
I'm in a state of relief.
I'm glad that I can provide. Is it the dogs that scream at you when you come in the door? Is that what it gives to your relief?
No, it's the dogs that relieve themselves on me. Great. That then gives me relief.
So I've been unplugged, and I'm excited to replug in and to find out what's been happening in the world of wrestling.
You got it, pal. Here we go.
We're going.
We start off with your favorite because I only do these now for Jake. Again, nothing for the listeners.
Okay.
Angel Garza and forgiveness for the names I'm about to butcher. Zayd Lozano have welcomed a new addition to their family. On Saturday, Garza announced the birth of the couple's second child, Alia Atenea.
Legado del Garza.
And that baby hates pants. Tell you that right now. Alia joins her older sister, Dara, who was born in July 2022. So that's 2 babies for a guy that can't keep his pants on. No wonder.
I'm surprised it's not more.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to remember. Didn't he propose on NXT to this woman? I think he proposed live to this woman.
On NXT? They did that?
I think so.
Are you thinking of Sammy Guevara?
No, I remember that happened too. That happened as well.
Okay.
But I want to say, and maybe if someone in the chat can remind me.
I feel like WWE doesn't.
It was NXT. It was like it was when it was just on the network, and it was the black and gold, and nobody was watching but me.
That's not true. They were doing pretty well
towards the end. Yeah.
But they weren't. Come on, they weren't going like, yeah, sure.
If only there was
pronounce your love.
If only there was a machine that allowed
Bing that shit.
Us to bing Angel Garza proposal. Angel Garza proposes to his girlfriend, NXT exclusive, December 11th. Oh, maybe it wasn't on air. Maybe it was just something that was they published on their YouTube.
We'll fire it up. Let's get the answers.
So why? So we get our shit pulled again from fucking.
No, just mute it.
All right, let me mute it.
It's not, Santa with muscles. It's not something that everyone wants to watch.
No,
it's Angel Garza proposing to possibly a civilian, possibly a wrestler. I don't know what her status is.
We did the Hitman rating system episode, and we played a bit of
Big John
Studd and we got pulled because of that.
Pulled or flagged?
I think pulled. I can't. I got double check the email, but I'm pretty sure they just yanked that one.
I love a good yanking.
I know you do. I've always said that about you.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
All right, there he is. Angel Garza. Does he have pants on or not?
I mean, I think he would have had just rest of
quick.
the match. Oh no, I gotta mute it. I muted it.
He's cruiserweight champion, so he thinks life's not gonna get any better than this. This title's sticking around forever. They're not gonna add 30 more titles between now and then.
Can I add subtitles or captions to this?
That almost seems racist.
It's because it's muted.
Oh,
don't bait me in that. Oh my God. Okay, so by the way, we're getting some context. Mike Lucas in the chat. This is a different woman than the one he's. This is not that woman. I don't. According to what Mike
Mormon?
Says, oh,
he's having
more woman, not more men, more woman.
So he's having babies with one and then keeping the other one pristine.
I mean, listen, this lady can get it. She's
no
a looker.
babies with her.
This was a WWE exclusive. Oh, look at his dimples. How do you not say yes? Oh.
I almost said yes just now. She didn't say yes.
Seriously.
She just hugged him like, fuck
That's
no.
true.
Never.
We're going to play a second.
How dare you put me on the
Let's see
show.
if we get pulled. Let's listen.
I want to be on the main roster. Why? Why here? Why on this show?
She finally said yes. All right. Please don't pull us, WWE.
Noise, music.
So this was the night that he won his NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
Oh.
Way to overshadow the championship.
Yeah. Oh, I was hoping it was a toe ring.
Oh, she's shaking. Oh, that's cute. Look at this great picture.
Is that a great picture?
Yeah, that's cute.
It seems like, we didn't get a good shot. But that's all we got. Ran out of film.
You're such a pessimist.
Well, you can't see either of them.
You can see her face. She's smiling. You can see the camera guy's butt.
Not great. Such a Kevin Dunn proposal.
Why? Because it's done?
No, because you see a cameraman's butt.
Oh, I don't recall that one. All right. Well, congrats to him and maybe or maybe not this woman that we just watched him propose to.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we didn't even let's see. This was, what date is this? 2019. So
okay.
He did. If the other kid was in 2022 and it's not this woman, he found someone else rather quickly.
Look, life on the road. You know, you having babies everywhere.
Taking your pants off constantly.
Yeah.
Having dimples like that.
Sure.
Fucking, he could have my baby.
Oh, you have to buy some John Cena merch, by the way. Pop up for 19 items of clothing. And in other news, Michelle McCool is being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, but let it be known she will not be headlining. That's already
they've specifically said that.
Well, because they've said when they announced Triple H that he'll be headlining.
Oh, got it.
So everyone else who's announced from here on out, it's like
doesn't matter as much.
Doesn't matter as much.
Okay, I just want to say that you thought that I was confused about Angel Garza proposing because you're like, are you sure it wasn't Sammy Guevara? Mike Lucas in the chat says, wait, I lied. It's the same woman. I'm thinking of Sammy Guevara.
Okay. That's Pam.
It was Sammy who proposed. And
Sammy and Pammy.
Yeah, that's right. Pam.
Yeah.
Spam.
Yeah.
Okay, I digress. Thank you very much, Mike Lucas. Thank you for being our eyes and ears in the chat. Honest. He's our guy in a chair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Michelle McCool. Yeah, she's Undertaker's wife.
Yep. I'm glad you said it.
I mean, I don't. Here's the thing: is that era of women's wrestling, the Divas era, like, it is culturally important to the WWE story, but I don't think any of these women were outstanding wrestlers. And I know I'm being broad strokes. When I say any, there were definitely a few.
Two whammies. Broad strokes. You're the worst.
Oh boy. But
I think there probably were some, and we could look at a list
100%
that have been through it.
And there's plenty of arguments for like these women could have gone, but they didn't let them go. We've heard the story where she got in trouble for throwing a punch or an elbow. She talked about it on a podcast
Michelle
with her
McCool
husband.
did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And they were like, you can't do that. And they had them go out there and reshoot the match.
Okay.
So like literally in front of the same crowd. They just had them redo the match for television.
To be honest, that crowd didn't watch it the first time. So
it was a whole new crowd.
Like, oh, look at that.
Coming back from the bathroom.
I get to go to the bathroom again.
So like, I don't want to I'm not trying to diminish Michelle McCool specifically, but I also think that like there are a lot of women who are in wrestling and we've talked about this for ages. The WWE Hall of Fame isn't a be all end all of people who are worthy of it every year. It is an event that they are casting and they are selling tickets to, and they need to cultivate a PR standpoint event. And you're going to have to pull specific women from certain eras. You can't,
this is how you get Undertaker to show up at it, and probably
get Taker to show up. And do you think he's going to induct her?
No, I just thought about that one. No.
Who do you think should induct her? Because I was going to go Layla, but I'm like, is she on good terms with the company? I can't remember who they hate and who they don't hate.
Because then they go, oh, look, people reacted to Layla. I guess we'll do that next year.
Exactly.
We'll get Michelle McCool to come back. And then we get Undertaker again.
Right. I mean, I suppose they could have Natalya induct her, but I don't because it's just like that's a person who was around that they wrestled a bunch. But
didn't they call her fat?
Yeah.
They called her. No, that was Piggy James.
Piggy James.
And
Natalya was in that same group, though. Natalya was the one I think.
Farting and pigs.
Well, when Lay Cool was doing Lay Cool, I think Natalya also had a thing with them with the whole table spot that didn't break, right?
Caval. That's who you would have induct.
There you go. Perfect.
She's gonna bring out the Broken Divas title. Like all that was unwatchable to me. Like there's no.
It was very tough.
It's you remind me because initially I'm like, you know what? It's a WWE Hall of Fame. It's prestigious. It's like it's really not that prestigious.
No, it's
certainly nice. It's great to honor those who should be in it, and it sucks when we have someone like a Vader or that had passed before he got in.
Right.
And we have a Lex Luger now that we go, yeah, well, I don't know how he's doing. Can we get him in while he can enjoy it?
Exactly. And that's, you say it's not prestigious. I would say that's not prestigious. It's that it's not the bottom line. It's not the be all end all of the prestige of it's.
Yes,
like,
that's a better way of putting it.
Because they're not going to put in people who are like completely undeserving. Like Michelle McCool is deserving.
There's the celebrity wing. That's different.
That's more PR.
We just want to acknowledge that that's
of course
a lot of undeserving.
Yeah, but there are like we're not going to see James Ellsworth in the fucking WWE Hall of Fame.
Why not? Michelle McCool's in there.
Who's
James Ellsworth married to?
I don't. Okay. Because
we
get what I'm
we
trying
can make that happen.
You get the final detail I'm trying to make. The final point I'm trying to make is that it is prestigious, but it's not fucking.
It's truly not a measurement of the best of the absolute best,
and it's not being done in order of best to worst.
Right. These Hall of Fames are a little tricky at this point. I think.
Right.
A majority of them, with the exception of probably like a Cauliflower Alley Club or some of those that have just been around forever, and it's their measurements are far different than what everyone else's is. It's like,
sure,
did you sell tickets? Were you over? Were you know, like
again? That's why I said cultural impact of the era. Like there are plenty of quote moments that they'll show in packages when they talk about that era, and you go, oh, all right, yeah, I remember that moment. I wouldn't necessarily enjoy it, but I remember it. It happened. It's part of the story.
Oh, I fast forwarded through that. Right. So, I mean, hey, good for the Taker family, and
2 Hall of Famers at home now.
Sure, their daughters are
really fucking dragging the family down at this point.
You should have been a warrior kid. Maybe then you'd do something. So there's that. And next up, we got 2 months after beginning to make early archive content available on the Max streaming service, AEW will add even more coming up in the next few weeks. First reported by PW Insider, the remaining 30 pay-per-views from 2020 through 2024 will arrive on Saturday, March the 1st. So at that point, all AEW pay-per-views and special events like Fight for the Fallen and Fyter Fest, the company's history, will be available to stream. So that's pretty cool.
Right.
That opens up our watch-alongs even more.
Totally. And I think that Max is a better service than Bleacher Report as far as like user interface and intuitiveness. And so I do think that that's good. I think that's good for business for them. And,
and the priority of the pay-per-views being up there sooner than, because it's in question, like, oh, when are the rest of the TV shows going to be up there?
Right, sure.
That you can watch some marquee matches, good and bad.
Right.
From Max, if you're like, oh yeah, I heard about that and I never
Exploding Ring. That sounds great.
Yeah, I didn't pay $50 to watch that. Now I can.
Blood and guts. Wow, I bet we're gonna see a lot of blood and guts in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody, and this is probably something that people have been saying or doing forever. But it was like a thumbnail. Maybe it was a Cornet thumbnail that popped up in my YouTube feed. I don't know. Okay. But it was somebody who wrote the word awful, but AWE was AEW instead, and I was upset at how much that tickled me.
You're upset? Why? Because you didn't think of it?
No, just because it's such a dumb, stupid thing. And I went, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Awful. That is awful. Come on. They're nice boys and girls. They're just trying to wrestle.
Watch the show. The Rock.
Hey, I know that guy.
Do you?
Yeah.
How?
Do I? Was it? Didn't they?
Do you show up at your table reading?
Didn't they bill him as like a blue tights? He was a happy guy.
Yeah, blue tights, happy guy.
And he had like a bunch of like stripes on his
people think it was
outfit.
Leva Bates, but no. It was,
no? He was the original blue tights?
Yeah, blue pants.
Blue pants, that's what it was, right?
The Rock attached to star in Martin Scorsese's movie. Deadline reported that The Rock, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Emily Blunt are attached to star in an untitled drama that will be directed by the legendary Martin Scorsese. What do you think about that?
I think that The Rock is really trying to prove Batista wrong and is still going to fail. I mean, I like that it's like, oh, Rock to star is Scorsese. No, let's be honest. Emily Blunt and Leonardo DiCaprio are going to star in the movie, and Rock's going to be in it.
Well, here's a little bit more.
Okay,
about
maybe
it
I don't know. Maybe is he really in it?
It's like, oh, well, this is why.
Is he playing a wrestler?
Well, let me see here. It says Hollywood quickly sparked to this pitch, and multiple bids and either on the table or fast mobilizing because the movie would be set in Hawaii in the 1960s through 1970s and would focus on a ruthless Hawaiian mob boss who battles rivals for control of organized crime on the island.
Got it.
So
is he the boss, do we think, or is he one of the henchmen?
No, he's an accountant.
Oh, shit.
A super jacked accountant.
I mean, if they're like a big badass Hawaiian mob, that's probably what their accountant looks like, in fairness.
Sure. And then Jacob Fatu is really the head of it all.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I think because I don't know if this is based on a real story of any kind, but
right, like you mean the movie that they're making?
Yes.
Right.
When I think of Scorsese mob bosses and mob guys, they're average looking guys,
right,
that are tough and intimidating, but that I don't look at them and go like, God, if Ray Liotta was more jacked, then maybe this movie would be cool. If De Niro was just fucking ripped,
right, totally,
then I'd like this movie. So
I feel like that's Scorsese's wheelhouse, is the danger of the people isn't because they're big manly men, it's because the power that they have.
Yeah.
And also it's like what's behind,
what's
the movie that
you
Joker
got Nicholson and Departed, like,
right,
that he's
100%
crazy and manic
100%,
and
yeah.
all that. And
we'll see.
I'm curious because, like you said, it's The Rock. The acting chops really have to be brought.
I dog on The Rock probably more than it's deserved. I don't think he's a bad actor, but he's
not a versatile actor.
I don't think he's a versatile actor, and that's not to say he hasn't surprised me.
Yeah, the Mark Kerr movie that's going to be coming out.
There's definitely a few movies he's done where I've been like, wow, he was really good at this or in this. But yeah, I mean,
it's in his wheelhouse.
Also, Scorsese's a great director, and
Is
that's
he?
mostly what happens.
What's he done?
There was a BMW commercial once, I think.
Oh,
that was really good.
That's the top line car.
Yeah.
I don't know how to spell it though.
It's because it's German.
Oh,
it's really long. Just call it a Beamer. They love that.
TNA Wrestling. TNA Wrestling.
That's what Tamina said.
They're getting so fun and silly now.
I got one in, you guys. It was
TNA
him
Wrestling.
this time.
Yeah. Edit that out.
Who? I'm the one who's asking the listeners to edit it out?
Just cut it out, everybody, when you post it on TikTok.
Oh, boy. Now you're stealing Full House bits.
So, this gets into TNA Wrestling, and we're having a major shakeup in multiple companies here. Have you heard or know about any of what I'm about to get into? You probably do.
When you say shakeup, do you mean like people who are being released and that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I know about the WWE releases.
We'll get there amongst this.
But that's about it.
So we got a number of them here going. So first off, we'll start out with TNA Wrestling.
Let's shuffle some wrestling figures around.
They made significant backstage changes, and it starts with Anthony Ciccione. Do you know him? He's Italian.
It does sound like somebody that I went to school with. I did go to school with somebody with the last name Ciccione.
Ciccione.
Only one C in the second part? That's strange. It should be Ciccione.
Oh, because then it would be pronounced
Ciccione.
Cacchione.
I feel like there are times where I'm like, God, Scott's really witty. He found that dick joke in the middle of that thing in a way I would have never seen. And sometimes I feel like you're really just stretched to say cock or dick.
What?
You're like, oh, I think there's a C in this somewhere. Let me see if I can squeeze a cock or dick joke into this.
You can always squeeze a cock or dick joke.
See what I mean, kids?
In the TNA?
Sometimes.
In the TNA? You sure can.
Sometimes.
So he's no longer serving as TNA president.
All right. Fuck that guy.
A role he took over from Scott D'Amore. And when Scott D'Amore was released from the company. And in addition to that, Josh Matthews and Christy Hemme have exited the company.
Wow. Josh Matthews is probably their longest running employee, period, right?
He's been there a long time. Like,
maybe there's like a cameraman who's there longer, but other than that,
right.
Like I can't think of a single person.
And the ones that I met, I don't think so.
Really?
Because they were very confused by. They certainly don't work as much as Josh Matthews did.
Are there any wrestlers who have been around that long outside. Most of them I can think of, but I don't know when he started.
No,
I feel like he
Maz
came
has
in
been there way
later.
longer than Moose.
I can't think of any other TNA exclusive talent.
Edwards.
Eddie Edwards. But no, didn't he pop out to WWE for a moment? TNA or NXT for a moment?
No.
I'm confusing it with somebody else then. Sorry. Yeah, shit. Maybe it is. I can't think of a single wrestler who's been around as long as Josh Maz.
He's been there so long. Like Rosemary's been there for a long time.
Sure, that's a good one.
But I think even still, if you were to probably look at him, it's probably still years apart,
right,
of how long he's been there. And he's
crazy.
He has done so much for their social media. Like he was the guy that really upped their YouTube.
Yeah,
like they,
as far as like actually putting stuff together and putting it out and like doing the work on it.
But putting content together, their social media game was strong. Like back when I used to follow it and see that stuff, because they were always present when they had. There was that time of TNA when, amongst the ratings and the viewership, like it just never went away. They weren't really growing in huge ways. Like sometimes they'd have some bumps ups and stuff, but
their fans were dedicated.
2 million watch no matter what.
Right.
The TV show. And then their social media numbers were going huge. Like Jarrett was around at times and company was changing at times, but they were always solid with the in case you missed it, the hashtag like IYC, whatever.
Yeah.
They were always on top of it and always making it known. Like WWE is pretty strong at it now.
Right.
But like the moment that Punk shows up at Survivor Series,
they
put it together well.
They're all doing moments. Yeah.
They make you aware of it. TNA made you always aware of the product, of what was going on, keep you in the know if you didn't watch it.
That's fair. Because I do think that when I think back to like when Compadres first came to Dragon Wagon Radio, I started kind of being associated with the podcast. I started just being more plugged into the shit that I wasn't even watching. And it made it easy because at least I would like, oh, I know what we're talking about. I didn't watch that segment, but I know that segment.
They got the young kid who knew social media to put all that stuff in there when
whippersnapper, Josh
when they
Matthews.
were the second tier, third tier, when it clearly wasn't a priority for everybody else because they didn't know it.
Right.
He knew it. And then the YouTube stuff, like that's when they started posting full matches of things on there.
Right.
I think they were quicker to do that than WWE was on the regular because it didn't affect them.
Right.
It only added to YouTube revenue for them. They were really smart about doing that.
Yeah, they realized that they realized that YouTube itself could be its own platform versus WWE not really knowing that for a long time, thinking YouTube is just a tool to get people to tune into television or pay-per-views. Where it's like, no, you just put stuff on YouTube and you make money there.
We're going to put the whole final deletion online.
Right. Yeah.
Like this was a sensation. Let's put it up immediately.
Make ads
and get everybody to watch it in full.
Right.
And they were getting the YouTube awards. Like I remember that he had one of the YouTube awards at his house. You get X amount of subscribers.
Right. Yeah. The plaques.
If he had the silver, the gold one there, and it was just in a drawer, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we got this." I go, "How much you want for that?" And it was we're just joking about it, and he goes, "How much you gonna give me?" Because the look at his eye was like, "I'm thinking about it because it's something in my drawer that I don't want." I was like, if I could have a YouTube award,
could we buy that off him and put it on our streams with our private streams were only for patrons, the streams in which like 7 people tune in to watch? I want a YouTube plaque, and I want to take duct tape and tape over his name and just write PWP and then write 8 subscribers.
But he did a lot. Chrissy Amy, I know, was there for a long time too.
Sure.
Did a lot of stuff for the company. She it says here she was overseeing the company's social media, and she worked with promotion and as a ring announcer, backstage interviewer. So she's done a lot. So that's pretty huge.
That's a big shakeup.
I don't know if that has to do with, do they bow out and like, all right, things are changing again, let's leave. Like, don't know. I haven't spoken to him in a long time, but that's significant. For all I thought was, what happened to make him leave?
Yeah. I mean, is it simply money? Or is it the direction?
Or maybe the next person coming in, you go like, I don't want to work with them. Or you just go, this is a good reason to get out. Like, this is a good time.
I mean, we were just saying it's been so long. Maybe he just wants something new, wants a fresh chapter.
Could be. I feel like there's certainly times that he would have been a major acquisition for any company when it came to social media and just putting together a web presence and YouTube and all that stuff for them. So I still think he is that, because when we look at all the people throughout wrestling that are always agents and producers, right? Like a
Right.
Terry Taylor, fucking Jamie Noble, these guys that for years and years, they could just go wherever and be wherever. They're always employed.
Right.
Josh Matthews was in a different category
Sure.
where it's like an editor in Hollywood
Right.
where not everybody can edit.
Right.
You can get a fucking actor, no problem.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
easy.
There's
a skill set here.
There's a reason why, despite the fact that I am in this city to act and to put out my own material, the vast majority of money is made in post-production because there are a lot less people doing what I do in that regards than in the other. Yeah.
Mackenzie Mitchell is officially back in TNA wrestling.
Kenzie Mitchell. How do I know that name? I can't put a face to it immediately.
She was a backstage announcer,
Okay.
an interviewer. She was
Let me look her up.
She was on Your Mark Wrestling. Maybe that's where.
Oh, clearly that's where I know her from.
And she was in NXT for a period of time, as well. So you probably recognize the face, but she's back in at a full-term capacity. She signed a full-term contract.
God, you say I might recognize her face, and now I'm just going to be an asshole who speaks about women's appearances, and I apologize to all of our female listeners. The answer is yes, I do recognize her face because it's every face. This woman looks like every woman on the internet right now.
Because you find every woman to be.
Is that okay? Is that Mackenzie Mitchell, or is that what's her name?
Show the listeners so they can see it too.
She was with Otis for a moment. What was that wrestler's name again?
Oh, Mother Trucker.
Is that? Come on.
That you think that's
what's
that's
her name?
Tucker?
What's the name? No,
that's not Tucker.
God damn it.
They have the same beautiful hair, yes.
I don't know why.
But his lips are not as pert.
Stupid game. Anyways,
is she any blonde wrestler in the last 10 years?
Yeah, I don't recognize her. But good for her for coming back.
If you want to get to know her, watch On Your Mark Wrestling with Mackenzie Mitchell. You'll learn all about her.
Great.
We could use the views. And then
gotta get that plaque from Josh Matthews.
That's right. WWE releases
Mandy Rose. Thank you, Tim Redbeard, for playing along. God damn it.
They didn't release her. She's been gone for a while. So WWE releases include Cedric Alexander.
Man, what a bad story overall
for Cedric.
Kind of. Why? I don't know, because it's like Cruiserweight Classic.
That's a bad story.
Give him a contract.
Whoa, give him a
I never said it. You finished the word in your head.
Give him a cock.
I just said ka. No, I didn't finish it. You dirty bag.
Yeah, because you
dirty boy.
You swallowed it. That's why. Look,
all
takes
I'm
the
saying,
phallic symbol off his microphone.
Listen, kids. All I'm trying to say, Cruiserweight Classic. They chant, give him a contract. After his match, Triple H comes out, gives him the point. We're all like, oh my God, this guy's going to be such a big deal. Gets brought to the main roster way too soon. They have nothing for him to do. He flails about. Then
he's getting paid.
Then they rebrand him.
But then he was in the Hurt Business.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. The Hurt Business was a good time, but I don't know. When I think of Hurt Business,
merch.
When I think of the Hurt Business, I don't think about him.
Oh, why?
Because I feel like I don't know. When I think of the Hurt Business, I think
all four of them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I think of the three, and then there's a blurry person on the corner.
Oh, because I always thought of him as like the guy. It's like, yeah, I'm young. I get pissed off, and I'm in, but now I'm not in because you guys are making me mad. And now is an opportune time because you got the Hurt Syndicate over in AEW, which hasn't been fucked up yet.
That's great. That's a good call.
So
put him right there,
and you could have that story continuing on. Like, hey,
I like that.
You calm now?
I like that.
Cool with us? So there's opportunity there for him just at the start. Sonya Deville, the authors of Pain, Akam and Rezar, Paul Ellering, Blair Davenport, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Isla Dawn, and Elektra Lopez all have been released from WWE.
Okay, so AOP just came back not that long ago. I feel maybe last year. They brought him back and put him with that group with Killer Cross, and
Paul Ellering.
Well, Paul Ellering, I'm connecting him with AOP.
Yeah, they all just rode in a van together.
So that's a bummer that they didn't. They just couldn't do anything. I mean, here's the thing: it's not. Right now, as far as the roster goes, WWE, it's a spoil of riches. Like there's so much talent, so many people. So being let go is not a sign of like someone just didn't cut it. It's like, no, there's so much shit right now that we don't have anything for you.
And also it's tricky.
It's
like
money.
When you see them again, you saw them before.
Right.
And you go like, all right, big heavy dudes. And they kind of move around. Are they special in any way? Do they have a story of themselves? Did they up their game in any way? Not really. They're just kind of there and they do their thing. But
I think the problem, there's definitely right now, like, there's too many big, powerful teams that come to mind. Like everything that, like, here's the reality is like the Bloodline kind of stepped a little bit on what AOP was originally.
The War Raiders.
War Raiders. Yeah.
And
like
now you know a little bit about them. So that's what I mean. It's
tough.
They were more of the same. That's not to say they were bad or anything, but you got a lot of other people that can do that job.
Yeah.
And where's their fucking book? I'm waiting.
Are you? Because it's pain. You don't want it.
Oh,
who else was on the Isla Dawn? I was surprised about. I sung her praises in a previous episode. I thought that they liked her and that I thought she was a really good utility player for the women's division.
Yeah,
because at any given point, they can put her with somebody. They could put her in a legitimate position. I feel like I don't think she was like a good swing position kind of player. So that one I'm surprised about, probably more so than any of the others, just because. Also, it wasn't that long ago she was a tag champion.
You're right, and I'd say the opposite, where I was like, yeah, they're trying to make something out of these two when there's nothing there.
But they did. But Alba Fire survived.
Yeah, and they're like, the pun was right there, and we kept her. All right, well, that's fine. Alba Fire.
I didn't get it.
So clearly they went, well, we're going to just take one of them and run with that. And so the other one, and with these, the door's never shut permanently.
Of course not.
This isn't you've offended us on many levels and we're done with
And by the way, none of these were like people who like were, quote, fired. They just didn't renew the contracts. It's not like their contract still had 3 more years and they're like, you need to get the fuck out of here. We're ripping that up and shredding. No, these people that they just did not renew. So it's also different from, like you said, it's not like a problem.
It's released.
Exactly.
It's like, hey, we're not doing anything together right now. Go make money somewhere else. Go learn a new hold, as they say. But that's not all. Malakai Black is removed from the AEW roster page on their website, and his contract is expired. So they haven't said officially like, oh yeah, he's gone. But Tony, I guess, changed his maneuver and stopped ghosting people because he finally released Miro and Ricky Starks.
Yeah, I saw the Ricky Starks news.
Yes, he's immediately appeared on, I think that was on a Monday, and then he immediately appeared on NXT on Wednesday.
Wow.
And he is now known as Ricky Saints.
Yes, which is an homage to his Louisianan heritage.
Yeah.
I dig it. I don't hate
More
that.
Specifically, New Orleans.
Yeah. I don't hate that. I know people, like everything, it's going to take a while to get used to.
Yeah, I don't love it, but it's not terrible.
No, it's no worse than Walter becoming Gunther or Eli Drake becoming LA Knight. Exactly.
Yeah, those still, I go, it's not great, but it works.
But it works, and you'll get used to it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the other one you said?
Miro.
Oh, Miro. What do you think? Oh, God, what do you think it's in store for Miro? I mean,
I can tell you his first thing in store. It's been announced.
What's that?
You want to know that?
Please do.
Miro wrestles his first match in nearly 14 months. Coming up at Qatar Pro Wrestling Super Slam 3 event in Doha, Qatar, where he'll be fighting the AAA Mega Champion Alberto El Patron.
Okay.
So there's that.
Alrighty.
Miro and Alberto. Huh?
Were they in that group together with Sheamus?
The foreign
Wade
fellas
Barrett Wade Barrett, or was that
Legion of
Nations? The League of Nations.
League of Nations. I would say the foreign fellas would be more fun. Yes, they were.
Okay.
Now they finally it can come to a head.
Mexico versus question mark country, because WWE doesn't think that where you're actually from is as effective as Russia.
Yeah, that's right. So beyond that, I feel like that's a WWE hire.
I mean, that is a person that WWE has put in a ton of equity into. They did so much with Rusev for so long. They made him this legitimate monster in giant giant
he had a tank
things with John Cena. programs is the word I was struggling to come up with there. They had him in fan favorite comedic bits with Rusev Day with Aiden English.
Yep.
They had him, as the support for other groups. Like this dude, they have worked with him for so long.
He won't have his additional players though if they bring him back because
no Lana
English is
and no
commentating at TNA and CJ and him.
I mean,
the divorce.
I guess the thing is that if you bring him back, people are gonna want to. I don't know. Am I being naive in thinking that people are gonna want Rusev Day to be like what they want the fun thing if he comes back versus the like he's back and he's just gonna be a heel powerhouse monster?
Potentially, it's when you show up, it's like, oh hey,
right,
and you start thinking, you go, oh hey, you gonna do that thing again? Right. Unless you come in with something strong right away. Like it's different than a Ricky Saints showing up.
Sure, of course,
and you go, oh shit, you're just here.
You're here now. The thing that you were doing there is being done here now. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's very exciting. It's really exciting that Ricky. I'm trying to get used to it. Ricky Starks. I'm just gonna say Starks for a while. That Ricky Starks shows up, and it's immediately exciting. He's coming out through the crowd, and you're going like, "Oh shit!" Like it's
right.
You get that feeling again. WWE's track record hasn't fucked up yet. One person coming from AEW to WWE, they've made everyone a big deal. Even Ethan Page. That even if it's in the NXT bubble,
of course,
it's a big deal. They're fighting for titles right away. And they come in strong and they stay strong. No one's been deflated with your Jade Cargills, your Codys.
It's a really good point.
They've got a great track record, and the reverse is not the same.
Eventually, some people will falter and they'll struggle because that's just the nature of the game. But I do agree. I mean,
you're saying Triple H,
the nature of the game. Yeah,
specific.
That's his nature.
Yeah.
He, for Christ's sakes, look at what he let go AOP. I mean, who knows what that guy's thinking? But you are right though. In the other direction, it is.
Will they be the journalists of agony, or perhaps the bloggers of anguish?
The writers of woe.
I like that one.
Yeah, the writers of woe. The scribblers of scrapping. Yeah. Scribblers of scrapes. Yeah. The scribes of bribes. They just pay off the refs.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's like we don't no pain anymore. We just want to win matches.
Technical holds.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Rusev is in a good position to come back and do something great with WWE if they want him to.
Sure.
Hell, honestly,
but you got Malakai Black as well.
But I think they're two completely different instances. I think Rusev is set up for a lot more success than Malakai. As much as I love Malakai, Alistair, whatever we want to call him now, I think that Rusev has ties to superstars that are that they are more likely to write stories for.
Whereas and his size is also a factor,
100%. And like
it's easy to plug in.
Hell, right now we're in. When I think of Rusev, I think of John Cena. Like I think that was his first really big, high-profile thing. We're in John Cena's last year. How fun would that be if in a moment of John being out on a Monday Night Raw on Netflix and being like, this has been an interesting year, and I've been fighting so many people, from my past, blah, 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 and then it gets interrupted with Rusev coming out and re-debuting, right there, boom. Even if it's a one-off match, you've got that.
That's a big deal.
Whereas Alistair Black, they're going to need to erase his first. Not when I say erase, you know what I mean? Like they're going to have to kind of rewrite his first author of Pain, his first main roster run because they squandered it. They didn't really put him in the light and the presentational space that he was in NXT because they handled him so well in NXT that he was my favorite thing on that show.
To me, it seems like that's where you put him to start.
I agree.
You get more buzz going in NXT again of it's an exciting place to be. You revitalize him, you have him on there for a few months doing stuff, and it's like, all right, we've all determined what we want to do and where we want to go with you. Now we've got the presentation ready for the main roster.
100%. And also, like, we know how WWE loves an entrance. And that Alistair Black entrance they had was fantastic. The music was great. That'll at least give you a couple weeks of equity. I'm not going to say you can build a superstar on it.
That's how long his entrances are going to be? Oh, Christ.
A couple weeks long. Yeah, why do you think they had to move to streaming?
Him and Penta on Netflix. It's like, God, Jesus Christ. There's 3 ad breaks during these entrances.
But I think it's going to be more of an uphill battle for Alistair than it's going to be for Rusev. But I still want it, and I love Alistair. I want that character. That I want the version of this. Is the thing that sucks so much about being a fan of that era of NXT is there were a lot of people who I was like, man, I can't wait till this gets to the main roster, and then they brought up to the main roster, and then they change it.
Yeah,
and I go, I get what you did. I get why you're like, well, we have to make this work for the current product that we're in. We're going to put you with this person, and this doesn't work. But like, you spent all this time and equity on this character
to make it
so good.
Why
in NXT,
would you
just bring it up as that? It worked for Bray for a little while. Like that was
also
a success
that was
story.
the formula that they did forever. That's what all wrestling has always been. It's like, we need to make sure you got this to work, and then we'll bring it here.
Yeah,
we'll bring this act here because it worked in the territories. It worked in this spot. That worked in OVW. It worked.
I would say that wasn't
FMW.
always the case with the Florida FCW. Yeah, it was FMW. I thought it was Florida Championship Wrestling. FCW, the Oklahoma one. Like before they had NXT on TV, and they were just called NXT what this other shit was. I do think that there was a lot of that where they definitely grabbed people from that and then changed them for the main roster.
If they didn't have something yet, but they're like, we need that person now. That's a different occasion, because that would happen. Sure.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And it's been successful. I mean, the Shield is a perfect example of them being like, we're taking what you do, but we're changing it and molding it for this. But it's also like,
we have a bigger idea in mind that we want to do, and we need 3 people for it.
Yes.
That's different, because also it's like, well, we have 3 kind of interchangeable guys.
Right.
Like, we just have, these guys are good to go, but
they
got Seth Rollins had fucking cow pants. Like, that's nothing.
Sure.
You know,
yeah.
So
and he had his hair was dyed as well, a little bit weird.
Sure.
So he had that. He swung a belt around very aggressively.
Yeah, well, Ultimate Warrior did first.
Yeah, I want Aleister Black to come back and be a big deal. That's what I want. But
I think they will. I think initially they'll all be big deals.
I know. I guess when I say
Ricky Starks is already a big deal.
when I say that, I mean not just initially. My hope is that this is a good
maintains big deal.
I think that Aleister Black is one of those people that you can really build a company, or like he could be a player that really contributes to the company for a very long time if done well.
Tim Redbury points out in the chat, they can even have a reunion of Rusev and his former lawyer, Joe Hendry. Did you see that?
No, was Joe Hendry one of an extras from WWE?
Yeah, he played
when they were doing.
I think it was the divorce with
Lana.
With Lana, that Hendry was the lawyer.
That's fun,
but it's before everybody knew who Hendry was. Much like
it's the
Ciampa
on the car, or
Ciampa was a lawyer and dealing with the Undertaker
when he had his hair. Yeah,
so before you knew them. And in our main story,
or like Alicia Fox as the wedding planner. Sorry,
was that her?
She was the wedding planner for Edge and Vicky.
I thought that was somebody else.
No, I think it was Alicia Fox.
Okay, well, there's also the lady that falls in love with Teddy Long.
Oops.
But I fast forwarded so much through those eras.
Yeah, see, it was Alicia Fox as the wedding planner. I always forget that I can do this and just share the screen with the people who watch.
And who's the lady that falls in love with Teddy Long?
Look at her. Come on, how cute. So you want me to Google who falls in love with Teddy Long?
Yeah.
Who falls in love with, come on, fingers, with Teddy Long? What a strange thing to type.
Who's that lady?
I don't recognize her. Crystal Marshall?
Yeah, and then he has the most abrupt heart attack at all of time. It's
Crystal
astounding.
was the character.
Okay.
I don't recall this character in WWE.
Yeah, that's good. I'm sorry.
This might have been when I wasn't watching. I think I don't remember this happening. Yeah, I don't remember this person.
Okay. Because if Crystal went on to do stuff, there was seemingly a bit of time between both things where it's like, look, Alicia Fox was this person, but then you don't see her for a while, and later she does.
Oh, I just want to say, too, between confusing Angel Garza and Sammy Guevara and Crystal and Alicia Fox, we're being real bad white dudes, right?
What are you talking about?
This is not a good showing for us at the moment.
What are you talking about?
Ugh. I just want to say that I love you, listeners, every one of you. and I apologize.
In our main story,
we need to get to a main story. We're running out of time. Let's get to a main story.
A crazy
Scott.
never say never in the world of professional wrestling, because it's been reported that Demolition, Axe and Smash,
those guys that the Legion of Doom ripped off.
Come
on. What?
The Legion of Doom spikes were huge.
Yeah, but they came after.
Very tight.
Demolition started in WWF, and then Legion of Doom showed up in WWF.
What?
So they ripped off.
They were both there?
Ripped them off.
No, hey, Britt Baker ripped off Isaac Yankem, right? What are we talking about here? They signed Legends deals.
Wow.
This is original members Bill Eadie and Barry Darsow revealed last year that they were invited to attend the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony for WrestleMania 40, but were unable to attend due to prior commitments. The two are not in the Hall of Fame, adding speculation this could be the precursor to being named to this year's class. So they've been in legal fucking mumbo jumbo for ever about the concussions.
Right.
And being advocates. I know there's other wrestlers that are involved in that lawsuit and like suing WWE.
It's that one guy who's in all the documentaries who was a former football player and also a former wrestler.
I don't know who you're speaking of.
There's a guy who's like one of the leading
Crystal or Alicia. Or Pam. Is it Pam?
Pam. I think it was Pam.
Fucking Pam.
Anyways, yeah, he's in a lot of the documentaries. He's one of like the forefront people who like started to urge like legislation and like get involved. And he was a former wrestler
or pro.
I think he was a pro wrestler. I believe. He was
Sorry,
a pro
I meant
wrestler.
like he's pro wrestler.
No. He's a like no. He's like he thinks that the concussions are a major problem and that they didn't take care of people. And
so he is pro wrestler. He's not pro WWE side of like
yes.
Fucking
pro,
deal with it. You're okay.
Yes, he's pro wrestler.
Okay,
not pro WWE. Corporate. We have fun, you guys.
We had silly yucks and fucks. This is huge because it felt like they were never going to come to terms. They were always going to be, I think, justifiably upset.
Sure.
And this is, I don't know if it's Triple H. I don't know if it's Khan. I don't know who it is. If it's just a sack full of money going like, hey, just make this go away, or hey, let's celebrate you while we can. Demolition has just not been really acknowledged in many ways. There's some stuff here and there in video packages.
Yeah,
where they're kind of like
they'll show them in a video package montage of things from yesteryear, but they don't really bring them up a ton.
This is kind of like the Jesse Ventura of it, and years before we saw with fucking San Martino, or what's happening with Punk, where we're making amends and we're getting to
the Triple H effect, really, to be honest with you, because it seems to be he's the one who's constantly
he's had his era of people. Vince had his era of people where he was making nice with people.
Yeah, I think of Brett comes to mind as like that was the first hell froze over moment for me. Yeah.
So here's another one, and I know there's a lot of speculation. People going like, are they going to go in the Hall of Fame? Will WWE 2K25 just announced the roster of fucking 300 people in the game, and they're already saying we got some surprises for the DLC.
Right.
Could this be part of that?
Demolition. Yeah.
I mean, even merch. I haven't bought fucking anything merch wise of WWE in a long time.
Got a Repo Man shirt on right now.
Not from them.
Oh.
This is money was a pro wrestling tees. This is Barry Darsow's store.
Got it.
So just even that idea of like, oh cool, could they put out some fucking sweet Demolition merch?
Right.
That's exciting to me.
Yeah.
The figures you get through Mattel that's for collectors where they get like
those
up to date fucking sweet elite collection figures.
Yeah, I want some sweet, sexy, hunky S&M boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, dude. This is exciting for if you didn't grow up with Demolition, one of the best fucking theme songs in the world.
Yeah.
Hear them come out on the stage and hear that song, they're gonna get a huge ovation.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I do hope that they get into the Hall of Fame. I think this is what that leads to. And it might be that it's just not this year, that it's next year. They might have already decided on all of this stuff, and then this deal came along and it's a little bit too late to get them in this year. And so again, as we said earlier, the Hall of Fame is just a production. It's not a,
this feels like Triple H shouldn't headline the year that they get in. It should be that Demolition.
Oh, no, they might be the headline. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
It should very well be the case.
That's what it might be. Like next year they headline. Although I don't know. I could see them not headlining whatever year they get in, because I think WWE tends to, they rewrite their own history, and they'll have some singles star who
Ric
is
Flair
there
going
for
in
fourth
again.
Yeah, exactly. Who's was in a tag team previously, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ideally, yeah, we stop doubling up on people or
Right.
doing the triples. But I, as a longtime fan of Demolition, am very excited.
Well,
And this
is great news.
crazy
Yeah,
I can't think of other people that they need to make amends with now.
Here,
it's been a lot.
Do you think there might pop up on a Saturday night's main event? How many more of those we got? We still doing that?
Yeah, we've got I think
two more
this year.
There were 4 scheduled,
sure.
and we already had 2, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a fun. Again, I don't even necessarily associate them with that show, but I just think
they're very much part of that show.
Yeah, but I just think that's the era. Have them.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be a fun way to just open a show without any. Not like Demolition's gonna be there. It's just like, hey, welcome to Saturday's Vinny. Joe Tessitore and Jesse Ventura, and they're talking, and then the music just interrupts, and Jesse's like, "What is this?"
And then some cool modern outfit.
100%. You can't have them in their leather daddy outfits.
You do the masks.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you got to take them off, and you got the cool makeup.
100%. You got to have your faces painted.
Yeah.
You got to have the masks.
Yeah.
You could honestly, they could even just be in biker leather,
something
leather jackets.
long, and you don't have to
covering.
show the bodies off.
Yeah, I don't know what they look like. I have not seen either of those dudes. Recently.
I think overall, it's pretty good. That they're looking pretty okay for old guys of the meat and potatoes era. Looking pretty good.
Right on. Tim Redbird in the chat, just sort of tangential, says, hoping for Ventura and Crush as DLC.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Ventura for sure. Crush.
Yeah, Ventura seems like a sure thing at this point, because it's I
think you got it.
Yeah,
he might have been enough. I looked through the list at one point, and it's so overwhelming. And my brain went, "Oh, they didn't put in Dude Love." Yeah, Dude Love was there. I read Dude Love.
Right.
Oh, they didn't put it.
Right.
Oh, he's there too.
That's also just that's the problem with who we are as people, is that you will see a list of 300 names and go, oh, gosh, they can't believe they missed this person. That was, oh my God, I'm not sure. I yelled about this for fucking hours on Quickcast last week. The SNL 50 special, which was this giant star-studded event.
They left out Charles Rocket.
The amount of people online who their only comment on it was who wasn't included or wasn't in the room. And I'm like, what more do you want out of your life right now? How miserable do you have to be to look at that room, which is arguably the most star-studded small room, more so than the Oscars, more so because it's movies and TV and film. It's all of these people,
hosts, musical people,
100%,
cast members,
iconic comedy actor,
the spectrum of it is crazy.
Exactly. And it's people who just are famous and love SNL,
or I was on there for 2 minutes once.
Exactly. Literally in a small space, all communicating with each other.
It's a Lorne Michaels dinner party.
100%. And people online are still bitching about who's not there. So that, the irony of being the roster being 300 names and be like, yeah, but fucking Crush wasn't in it.
Yeah, you're right. You might have to wait 2 weeks for someone to make the ultimate Crush, and then you download it.
You know what? Fucking I'll play it once Bastion Booger is included. Anyway, sorry, I apologize.
That's a very good point.
We are entitled. Anyways, thank you guys so much. That'll do it for the program this week. Once again, we must acknowledge our current PWP champ, Mickey Bell, who will defend that title on the next episode of the PWP program. If you want to have your name thrown in the hat, if you want access to the live stream, if you want access to
goodies,
millions, I'm going to say millions and millions
of minutes
of at least seconds. At least seconds of material available over on the Patreon. Watch along Wednesdays. We've got the pre-shows, which are just us shooting the shit about all stuff non-wrestling related in our lives.
Our own Hall of Fame.
Catch up. It's our own Hall of Fame. The Hair Hall of Fame is on there. The original WWE Encyclopedia. There's just so much there. The original Table for Me, where we talk about people we want to have just a meal with, and there's so much. I can't tell you how much stuff is in there. It's upsetting how much stuff is over there, available to you, and you're just not even looking at it. Why? Because you're not a patron. You got to head on over to patreon.com/PWPalskis and get in on the goods. If you want to call the hotline, 747-666-5606. That's the Pro Wrestling Palskis hotline, 747-666-5606. Leave a message. We'll play him here on the program. We'll respond to him. Head on over to the shop at dragonwagonshop.com, or again, everything is at pwpalskis.com. I'm really bad at this. I give too many places. We should only give the one place, pwpalskis.com. That's where you get access to everything. You can find the links there.
Shop.
Yeah, you can find the links
Plus
there
the shop.
to the Patreon, to the shop. Snag yourself some fantastic merch. I'm rocking some right now. I got both a hat and a PWP shirt on. Our Rainbolt shirt, which I absolutely love.
I think you're matching Mickey Belt today. He's also
really? Is he
rocking
it? Did he post something on the socials?
Yeah, on the Discord.
Our current champ rocking his hat. Yeah, a lot of really
gain favor to win.
We got some really cool, nice, like corduroy hats, kind of like a vintage 70s style that are really nice to shop. I want to get one of those.
Is this the same?
Oh, he's got a flat brim. Yeah, he rocks the flat brim, which is also a cool side with the blue bill. I like that. That's a good looking hat. I can't pull that look off.
Rocking a hat right now.
He looks really good. I look like an old man trying to be young when I have a flat brim on like that. I look like like hello fellow youths. Like that's the vibe I put off. Yeah, I can't do a flat brim. It doesn't work for me. But anyways, great way to support the program is by snagging some merch. And you can do that at the shop. Yeah, we need to thank our current Patreon Palskis.
Yes, we sure do. So thank you to everyone who supports the show and our current Patreon Palskis: Adrian Avina, AJ0314, Alex Pierce, Andrea Beeler, Gilbert Short, Mass Llama, Mexican Stallion, our current PWP champ, Michael Beltran, Mike Lucas, Strong Style, Suicide, Tim Redbeard, Tom Hader, and Tony Griggs. Thank you for your continued support.
Thanks to each and every one of you. We really appreciate it. We would not, could not, should not do this program without you. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, an absolute blast hanging with you, the Pro Wrestling Palskis.
It's Dragon Wagon.